When you think of rest, what comes to your mind? Do you think of sleep, Netflix, playing video games, or going to some kind of entertainment? Or maybe you think of some kind of fancy vacation where you can just get away from it all. Maybe you think of just doing something simple that relaxes your mind for a bit. The things that we do that we consider restful is usually more accurately defined as distractions from life. Now, these aren't necessarily bad, but that could often be more draining than restful. We can't be good at everything, right? Say you ran 150 miles one month, and then you took a break for a month. If you were to get back the next month with another 150 miles, this isn't going to benefit you. You need to go at a pace that you can withstand. When we get busy, the first thing that we normally drop is our time with God. What if our hectic lives is not because of a lack of time, but a lack of wisdom? Jesus hiked a mountain when he wanted to get away, to go and rest. Are we taking advantage of our opportunities to rest? Jesus stepped out of the rat race so that he could recharge and then re-engage. We need rest, not laziness. We also need to learn to say no to things. Is God getting the first fruits or the leftover fruits?
How do we balance worldly rest with spiritual rest? What is the difference between worldly rest and spiritual rest? When we think, I'm going to go home now and rest, what does that look like? What is the most important way to rest throughout the week? For me, it's taking dedicated time to spend with God throughout the whole week, whether that be writing, reading your Bible, prayer, singing, whatever that looks like. Doing it consistently throughout the week. Just taking time to be in the presence of God. Now obviously we need physical rest, and it's good to relax and do things that are fun. But this spiritual rest is so much more beneficial and more important. Thus, we need to make it a priority to do consistently. Rest is not an excuse for laziness, but it's important to be able to go back out and serve the kingdom. And now taking time to spend just with God might be kind of difficult and scary and even hard at first, especially when we're not used to it. But like everything else, it just takes a little bit of time. It's like when you hate reading and then you just pick up this book and you just can't put it down. Or like if you're watching a show for the first time and you're like, I don't know if I really like this, and you stick it out for a few episodes and before you know it, you're like the biggest fan of the series. It just takes a little bit of time. Some of this effort might be rescheduling some things and changing our schedule. Jesus got up early in the morning to go pray and be with his Father. He did this before anyone else was even awake. Jesus also, after being with people all day and teaching and preaching all day, whenever they went across the lake on a boat, he walked around just so he could be by himself for a bit and pray and talk to his Father and be in the presence of God. I think that this needs to be a priority for everybody. And yeah, sometimes getting up early or skipping some activities at night or in the middle of the day might be hard and sometimes might make people irritated with you, but making sure that you rest spiritually and get recharged is so much better for you. If you have a lot of things to do one day, you might think that taking a long time to pray about these things might just make it harder and you might run out of time. But actually, the more things you have to do, the more time you should spend praying about these things. I think most of us want to be able to do as much as possible while we're on earth. And we like to be able to show things for our time. It gives us a sense of completion, a sense of satisfaction. And sometimes I think it might be easy to not actually pray or not actually read our Bible or do these different things because people don't see the physical outcome of that. We often don't see the physical outcome of that. And so it can be easy. Because whenever we do finally reach that breaking point, we get burned out and we're like, okay, I have to drop something. The first thing that we drop is that time with God. Whether that be getting up early in the morning and doing our prayer journal, or going back to church at night on Sundays, or whatever it is, we usually drop one of these things that are really important. Like reading that book that gets better and better, or watching that show that gets better and better. This time, this dedicated time with God, will become the highlight of your day, and to where it's the thing that you look forward to from the time that you wake up in the morning to the time that you go to sleep at night. So my challenge for you as well as myself is that yes, we take the physical rest, we do things that relaxes us and things that we enjoy, but also don't neglect the spiritual rest. Because if we're out here trying to bring people to Christ, trying to expand the kingdom, but we aren't properly rested, we're not recharged and ready to go, then we're only going to lag behind and slow others down.